Powered by the Montana Television Network. This is the 10 o'clock news on Q2, Montana's news leader.
Good evening and thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Russ Riesinger. For the first time in this election season, the DNC debate was limited to one night and only 10 candidates. It was the first matchup between frontrunner Joe Biden and the steadily rising Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren. Well, we head south to Texas, where CBS's Nicole Killian has more from Texas Southern University.
Former Vice President Joe Biden was aggressive from the start, calling out his two closest competitors on their Medicare for All plans.
And if you notice, nobody's yet said how much it's going to cost the taxpayer.
Senator Bernie Sanders punched back.
You got to defend the fact that 500,000 Americans are going bankrupt.
Healthcare is a top issue among Democratic voters, and the candidates quickly tried to lay out their visions.
I propose Medicare for all who want it.
A nonprofit choice that will bring down the cost of insurance.
We make sure that everybody gets covered by health care at the lowest possible cost.
The candidates came together around gun control.
I will fight this and bring a fight to the NRA and the corporate gun lobby like they have never seen before.
It was personal for Beto O'Rourke, whose hometown of El Paso suffered a mass shooting.
Hell yes, we're going to take your AR-15, your AK-47. We're not going to allow it to be used against our fellow Americans anymore.
Many voters tuned into the debate at watch parties like this one here in Houston. The Democratic Party is looking to flip Texas, which hasn't elected a Democrat for president since 1976.
Biden sidestepped a question on deportations during the Obama administration.
We didn't lock people up in cages. We didn't separate families. We didn't do all of those things.
Julian Castro, who also worked in the administration, gave him heat for it.
He wants to take credit for Obama's work, but not have to answer to any questions.
The candidates were critical of President Trump's trade war with China and accused him of deepening divisions in America. Nicole Killian, CBS News, Houston.
Well, Republican lawmakers in Montana and Wyoming praised the Trump administration's decision to pull back federal protection for small waterways, while conservationists say that move will lead to more pollution. Officials with the EPA announced they were overturning a 2015 decision by the Obama administration that extended Clean Water Act provisions to streams, ponds, and tributaries that connect to rivers. That rule is known as Water of the United States. The move to scrub the regulations has been telegraphed by the Trump administration for months, largely pushed by ag and industry groups that argue that the rule was too broad and hurt business. Environmental groups say they plan to fight back. Well, have you ever heard of blockchain technology? Some in the finance industry believe it can make transactions more efficient and secure. One of those working with blockchain spoke in Billings today. More than 100 people came out for the first of the Rocky Mountain College Presidential Lecture Series. Rob Christensen says blockchain helps with a transaction between two people without a middleman. Bitcoin uses blockchain, for instance. Christensen says information can go out, but only the recipient has the key to open it.
I can broadcast that publicly, and only you have the power to decrypt that message and understand it. And that's a simplified version of it, but it's really fundamental to the entire technology. Bitcoin, Ethereum, security tokens is just the first wave, and you'll see other industries start to come in over time.
Christensen works for T0, based in Salt Lake City, a company that connects businesses with investors. Well, pretty much everyone in the Q2 viewing area saw rain yesterday, but some folks woke up to a preview of winter this morning. Q2's Rob Griggs has more.
Wow, what a beautiful morning today. We woke up to blue skies crowning the snow-covered Beartooth Mountains. Kelsey Borge with Red Lodge Mountain says it was pretty exciting for everyone up there.
You know, yesterday we had rain all day, and it was dreary and cold. And then this morning we woke up to bright blue skies and a snow-covered hill. That's always exciting for the upcoming season.
And although we have 75 days before opening day, which is the Friday after Thanksgiving, Borge says you got to live in the moment.
Oh, it's never too early to start thinking about ski season.
Our snow levels dropped to around 7,500 to 8,000 feet, temporarily closing portions of US 212. Now, at the moment, the Beartooth Pass is open across the top and into Wyoming, but as we all know, it's a day-to-day situation depending on the weather. Well, now that we've officially had our first summer snow in the mountains, Bob McGuire says summer temperatures are going to return. In Billings, Rob Griggs, MTN News.
All right, turning to weather, Bob, the rain was much needed, and we certainly had a lot of it in a short amount of time, really.
I've got some pictures that people sent us about how much rain they got in their rain gauges. Let me show you one of those right now. Take a look at this. This comes to us from Colleen Kaiser-Lee. She said 3 inches of rain. They live over there by Glendive, and you can see the 3-inch mark there right by that big black metal bar there. Yeah, that's what we had. Now, other places up in northeastern Montana, they had a lot of rain, too. Check this out. Over in Sydney, that's just north of Glendive, 3.54 inches of rain out of that. Forsyth had 3.04, Lodgegrass 2.56 inches, places like Miles City almost 2.5 inches. I see Baker there, they had 1.54. Here in the Billings area, we had a lot, but not like that. We had 0.89 inches of rainfall, which certainly makes everybody's yard look very green. We'll have the rest of your weekend forecast coming up in a few more minutes.
All right, thank you, Bob. Well, 2 weeks ago, the truck that Powell starting quarterback Ethan Asher was driving rolled outside of his hometown. He's still here in a Billings hospital fighting to live. Q2's Brandon Sullivan shows us how his family, teammates, and community are forging forward on his behalf.
KTVQ Sports proudly presents Powell Panther football. Tonight's game
Powell Panthers trying to regroup and rebound after the injury to their starting quarterback, Ethan Asher, who is still recovering, as the Panthers will try to play and win without their starting quarterback. A couple have stepped in, though, including Landon Langfelder.
It's been a tough week and a half, I know, for the whole team. Ethan really had an impact on everyone around him, and he was one of my best friends, and I didn't even know him for very long. He was an important part of this community, and everyone around him loved him, and I just didn't know why Ethan had to go through something like that.
It was Tuesday, August 27th, and the second day of senior year for Ethan Asher. As he made his way to school, Ethan's truck drifted just off the right shoulder. He overcorrected. His truck rolled 3 times. Ethan was not wearing his seatbelt and was ejected from the truck. Emergency responders were able to stabilize Ethan before he was life-flighted to the Billings Clinic. He had a broken clavicle, broken ribs, a tear in his aorta, head and brain trauma, and a severed spinal cord. Despite his injuries, he survived.
Ethan was a guy that was honest. He was an incredible leader, and he was someone that all the guys rallied behind. When Ethan was going somewhere, he had guys following him. And as our quarterback, he was really what you wanted because he was out to make everyone better.
As Ethan was fighting for his life, the Powell Panthers were fighting for the courage to move forward, fighting for a purpose to carry on the legacy and spirit of a fallen teammate.
People are looking around a little bit and they're wondering, what next? What do we do? But we all knew what Ethan would want us to do, and that is to keep going and keep pushing, because his life was football and he loved it. He was a great competitor, and we know that he'd want us to keep going hard for him.
4 days after the accident, doctors were able to fuse Ethan's spinal cord and realign it to near perfection, and the Ashers began seeing movement in his legs and feet. As his condition improved, the Panthers' first game in front of their home fans inched closer. Shouldering the weight of winning was heavy, and no one knew that feeling more than Ethan's parents, who had written a stirring message for the team.
Don't just play for Ethan. Play for the win. Play for the title. But most of all, play for the brothers standing next to you and for the one that cannot. Don't quit. Don't stop. Now bring it.
It said go for the win.
Let's get it up, guys.
Play for each other, play for the brotherhood. And that allowed our boys, I think, the confidence to say, yeah, it's okay to go out there and play hard and do what we love to do, and that's to play football. it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense at all. But as hard as that is, it's not meant to make sense. But just to continue to trust and know that things are for a reason, and I think that that's what helps so many people drive on. All right, hey, let's go now. Let's go, baby. Every day you don't know what it's going to bring, but I do know that there is a plan, and his plan is good.
Touch!
Abraham out of the I formation. Langfelder turns, hands it off to Abraham. Abraham breaks the tackle, breaks another tackle, into the end zone. Touchdown Panthers! 22-yard carry by Cade Manning.
I just think that he's always on the field with us, mentally, not physically yet, but he's definitely out there with us, and I was just so happy and just loved holding his jersey.
On this night, the Powell community raised over $30,000 for Ethan and his family. A week earlier, 160 miles south of Powell, the town of Riverton raised more than $6,000 for the Ashers. And the list goes on. Parents and players from around the state and country are offering and giving their support for someone most of them have never met. And at the heart of it is a family with incredible faith, strength, and love.
I can't imagine going through something like this, and to see how they've responded, his family, his mom and dad, is truly incredible.
We know life itself is always bigger than football or any other sport. But oftentimes, when those two worlds collide, it creates moments, memories, and miracles that are never forgotten. Andy and Tiffany Asher believe this is one of those moments, and Ethan is one of those miracles. Brandon Sullivan, MTN News.
Well, doctors say Ethan fractured his T9 and T10 vertebrae, the same injury cowboy J.R. Verzane suffered 1 year ago today when a horse landed on him during a rodeo. Now, J.R. is learning to walk again, and the Verzanes have reached out to Ethan's family to offer their support in this trying time. And if you'd like to help, we've attached a link to a fundraiser for the family on our website, ktvq.com. Well, up next on Q2, a symposium in Helena today focusing on saving lives in the middle of the scariest of times. We'll take you there. And in sports, Montana has a new scoring leader in girls soccer. Scott shows us what's still to come for Central's Morgan Ferristad.
You're watching MTN News with Janelle Slade and Russ Riesinger. Storm Tracker weather with Bob McGuire. And sports with Scott Breen. This is the 10 o'clock news on Q2, Montana's news leader.